everybody, welcome back to the channel. The General is here, and today he's going to give us some mount details.
Yes, so there's just something that was occurring in a live roll from mount. So things that I do from mount in my rolls with Jared, I'm particularly invested in because it's one of the most difficult positions. And oftentimes, especially if you watch our rolls, you can tell a little bit difference in our styles of where we're most dangerous, right? I'm pretty much not dangerous the entire time, and then I get on the back and now I'm super dangerous. That requires me to have to climb the whole mountain before I become dangerous. So you'll see times where I work really hard to pass a guard, I work really hard not to get buggied from the side control, I work really hard to enter into the mount, and then he escapes it back to a guard and I have to reclimb that whole mountain, right? Whereas Jared he's dangerous from pretty much every position, so the whole time one of those threats can attack and get the kill. So I'm very serious when it comes to mount because I don't want to climb the mountain to get pushed back down. So when I get there, it's definitely a point of emphasis for me to be tenacious and not let the good position go to waste. I can't get there and be okay, now I got the mount, I'm gonna get the back. No, I'm just halfway through that battle there. All right, so let's take a look at something that I've been doing that has been having a little bit of success in me taking the back. So what I'm trying to get is a chest to back connection. That means that I need to turn Jarrett to here so that way I can get my chest on his back, and I also need some type of seatbelt style control to maintain that, and then I'll roll him through to take the back. So what I'll do here is I'll isolate an arm away from the chest, and I put a lot of weight on that arm. Now typically this is starting to force Jared to escape into this way, right? We know he's gonna start his elbow escape. Next thing you know, I'm back to a half guard, right? He can't go the other way because I'm kind of funneling it to happen in this place so I can be prepared for it. So as he's turning, one thing that I do is I get my foot on his thigh, all right? Because he wants to scrape under it. So I try to kind of use my foot as a little hand and I put it on the thigh. Sometimes I even take my other foot and I hook it in as double reinforcement to keep that knee from moving forward. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to attack this arm. I'm gonna go to his elbow palm up grip, and I'm gonna use my knee and my elbow, my forearm, and you can see this nice skeletal line from my wrist down to my ankle that goes through. So, Jared's really good at getting out of the pull, but this is very hard because there's so much of a skeletal structure in place. And then that leads me to feed to this wet, kind of a half Nelson, but on the arm here. And then from here, I'm using my weight, since you can tell I can push off here, and I drive forward, and a lot of times that'll get this hand to come through to fight this, and then I'm looking to dig under, and there goes the chest to back connection. So you see something as simple as getting a chest to back connection that I need. If you see all the details, or just the thought process that I have to run through to ensure that my mount doesn't go to waste, because then it's all the way back to step one of fighting through a dangerous guard, which requires me to be mentally sharp and physically sharp. Then when I succeed at that, I fight through a dangerous bottom side control, right? Which again is a pain in the ass. So then when I get to mount, I gotta make it count, and when I get to the back, that's definitely the area that I'm most dangerous. So that's me at the top of the mountain, but it's still not done. I gotta plant the flag. So there's value to my style where I'm fairly positionally sound. So I'm rarely in maybe spots that are terribly uncomfortable, but you're also not worried about me until the very end, So pros and cons.
Yeah. So let us know how the control position works for you. I really like the feet on the leg there. Makes it really difficult, and also the kind of have the Nelson makes it difficult to getting out of the pool thing.
Right.
So without the back of the head, I could definitely turn more over.
Yeah.
And free.
Well, I really got to give all the credit for those two specific details to you, because it's due to the struggle in those positions. Normally, I can, not normally, but in a lot of my situations through my experience, I can kind of horse my way through, you know what I mean? But I cannot do that because, you keep your body in such good positions with your connection and using the mat for your connection. So it's what you want out of your training partners, especially the ones who are challenging you. And that's the point of having training partners that challenge you, is he was giving me issues in mount I solved it. I came up with a solution. We'll probably do a video in like 3 months where he just solved that issue that I'm presenting, you know? And therefore we're continually get better, as opposed to what you see happen a lot of times, if you're not challenging each other, is we reread the same script. It's like when you're a kid and you like, you know, you have that one movie, like mine was probably like Toy Story or Lion King or something, where you watch it every day, you know? Like sometimes I'm sure a lot of you have that with your training partners. Every role, it's the same role. It's like you're just rewatching that episode. It's still fun and all, but the way that you guys can get some progression is by really being thoughtful about what's happening and like pinpointing the points of failure where I was seeing point of failure in mount, you know? And then it's like, okay, what makes sense that could overcome there? What tools could I possibly use? And that didn't all come off of one time. The things that I was doing with my feet, I've been doing for months now. But actually today was the first day that I started using that skeletal structure there. So like, you know what I mean? Like that one technique, honestly, it's probably more about a year in the making, you know?
And to reinforce what you were saying earlier about being forced to develop things, one of the reasons why like my bottom side is dangerous is because you always put me in bottom side.
Yeah.
Like Mike is really good at, you know, especially like when we're wrestling or there's like a dog fight or a scramble or something like that or whatever, like getting back to the top position. So I end up in the bottom position, and therefore I'm like, well, I'm going to be here, so I might as well hit him with something while I'm here.
We could like totally like do like a film study on one of the roles, and I could like point out like just different areas where like, okay, like right here, this is something that I wasn't doing 2 years ago because of A, and then I had to get good at it because of this. One of the things that I would say even today with guard passing was my head position when I was standing like, you know, like fighting your legs with my arms, like getting my head position is what gave me any success I had today was due to my head position, which if you watch a roll from a year ago, that's not there, right? But maybe I didn't need it a year ago, right? But then you develop something better with your retention and your attacks to now I need to get my head into a better head position. So it's just like, you know, it's a continual growth through challenging each other, and just like honestly, you also gotta want to beat the other person. Like, you know what I mean? And that's good. Like he wants to beat me and I want to beat him, and we take turns beating each other, not like
on purpose.
Not I was gonna say like cordially or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if I can win every time for the rest of the time, then that's what I'm gonna do. But like, you know, like my challenging has make you better, and same thing on the other side.
Yeah. So let us know what you think about you know, the mount control position and some of the other thoughts we had. Thanks for watching. Do the liking and the subscribing. Hit the bell. And
come down and train. I've been doing that for a long time now.
Yeah.
Because of you escaping my mount.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it fucking works.